Got my blue shirt on.
You got your you're in blue shirt mode. I'm in Cub shirt mode.
Yep. You can go ahead and bumper, I think.
Really quick, there's something when we finish the show. There's one couple of notes for you. I'll have Larry.
Okay.
Click, click, clicky, click, 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 clicky, click. Hey, we're in. Hey, I'm just coming back from the beach over here, and boy, that was a lot of swimming. Just kidding. We're playing with our backgrounds. Uncle Larry, you have your regular background. I decided to change mine to something tropical because I sort of came from a tropical place, from the Power Platform Conference in Orlando. Orlando, yes, right in the middle of Universal. They got a couple of new rides there that I know Raquel would actually love. The two ones that I was on, she'd probably like, okay, there's a reason to go back to Universal. Okay, well, just saying for next time, because it happens. In the meantime, what you been doing? What you been doing all week while I've been conferencing?
I have me. I've been working.
You've been working?
Not doing anything good, not doing anything fun, just
But wait a minute, cloud stuff is always fun.
Yeah, cloud stuff is always fun. No, it is fun. I've been doing a lot of interviews. We're hiring. I've been doing an assessment, and so it's an assessment for a company that's putting a product out, and the product was built by several iterations of different consulting firms.
Oh, nice.
And so, it's a little bit of a hodgepodge. And so that's what I'm doing is I'm going in and trying to help.
It's literally like a family quilt that's been gone down to generations.
It has been, yes. And so, there's some interesting things that are going on. There's a part that's using Raspberry Pi, which is great. I love me some Raspberry Pi. The problem is that it, well, let me see how to say it.
How to say it?
Yeah, let me see. It's using Raspberry Pi, but the image that they have for the Raspberry Pi is bad.
It's not happy. Let's just say it's not happy.
It's not happy. Yeah. And because of that, I'm just having to go in and do some looking and
yikes.
And help.
Well, that's why they call it work, and that's why you have the light blue collar stuff on for exactly that. Yeah, that makes sense. So I feel a little bad because I was sort of like in a fun situation, except I was not exactly. I had to deal with airlines and all that stuff to go in and out, which means, the whatever tension that is it going to be in time? Is it going to take off situation you run into? The back and forth. The problem is, I guess, you feel a little. I don't know, folks, if sometimes, does anyone feel guilty like they're like in a conference, everyone's treating you nice, and you have that little like trepidation that I don't catch my mail, somebody's going to, say something and like, hey, you're missing a meeting or something. Yeah, but even though you've said you're out of office and everything else, still, somebody's still going to go and beep you like they're beeping me right now.
Right.
Yeah, and that sort of stuff. I don't know. It's like you can't enjoy it so much because you're still connected back at work. I think that's the issue that I'm running into. I need to get over that. I need to, like, in a conference, relax, let it go.
Yes.
Need to do I need to get back into that mode. Most of us have been like, it's been hard. We've been so remote so long that getting out and about, it's almost you feel guilty that you're out and about and other folks are not. It's like, I don't know. I'm not going to use this as a therapy session today. Let's continue and try something else. I found, so here's something that I brought. I'm bringing back something from the show. You come back and you bring presents. And I brought back this one. And this one has nothing to do with Power Apps or platform or any of that kind of stuff. but this is near dear to our hearts because technically speaking, when everything works fine, you use the same tools to do DevOps, right?
Right.
So DevOps should not be like 5 different tools and squished together and in like it's a hodgepodge to work. That sort of defeats the purpose of DevOps. To me, the concept of DevOps is there is one, you know, piece, one place to look to see
Right.
that to see what happened to something. It started here, you stuck it into that one piece, and it came out on the other side. But you don't have to go look at it at 5 different places, or look at the app and say, well, it's that kind of app, so go to that square or go to that square. And it's like, well, they're doing similar things. Why does there have to be separate pieces? I like the fact that they're at least on the Microsoft side, they're looking at things, everything from the low code to the high code to the no code to the, I guess if they invent a new kind of code to actually use the same kind of tools. And what is that tool? Of course, Microsoft's favorite, besides GitHub, is DevOps, because this was the original. If you remember, what was it? TFS. It morphed into Azure DevOps. And so the cool thing is over here is they have actual learning. And so a lot of the things I've been talking about. In fact, I was there to tell the community, how do you learn? How do you make a career or advance your career from the community and getting free stuff? Essentially, you're a freeloader like some of us, and we're like, we want to learn this stuff and go over there. All right. By the way, in my talk, fine to be a freeloader, but remember, if you don't give back, eventually it'll catch up to you. So we're giving back. This is my way of I'm going to freeload, but I'm going to give back to the community. Hey, really quick. So we have this. So check this out.
Yeah. So this is Azure DevOps Labs.
Yes.
And you can sign up for free and get your DevOps. Everything is available.
Right.
But man, it seems like, I don't know. It seems like this is almost too easy.
It seems too easy. I'm looking at it. I was trying to see what's missing from this. Okay, let's look at this one. Planning portfolio. Okay, so that's like the admin-y type stuff. Configuring pipelines, which is like, oh, that's the nitty gritty. Get it done. Let's see what else. With the wiki, working with the wiki, important because documentation saves.
Yes.
Monitoring and performance because sharing. Monitor app performance. I mean, this is almost like if you're going to 12 factor or Define 9, you have to monitor your stuff. You need insights, otherwise you're wasting your time.
If you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Exactly. Thank you. All right. So the first column, done. Let's look at the second column. Project schedules. Okay, that's the manager again getting into play. Enabling continuous, and that's the CI/CD. I'm sorry, that one right there. Yeah. That is the push button and go home George Jetson stuff. You got to. If you don't do that, what was the point of everything you're doing? But creating work.
That is the. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So, and the project that I'm on right now has pieces that people are manually building, and if I see, the reason I have my hair so short is because otherwise I wouldn't have a head left. Because
this is why we are in the club, and not in management yet, but we're in the club thanks to this stuff.
Everything needs to go through a pipeline. It needs to come out of source control, and it needs to come out of a pipeline that builds it from that source control. That way, there is a known path of truth from something that you control to something that you're deploying. And
indeed,
BS, awful stuff where people are building it on their local machine and then putting it up. And I'm looking at a Raspberry Pi image that has 9 partitions, and nobody.
9?
Why? Yeah. Why are there 9 partitions on this?
What
are they all done? It's it's a 55 gigabyte Raspberry Pi boot image. Now, what's it doing? What's actually going on in there? It's not
really
standard. So I have to dig through all this, and nobody knows, right? It was built by one of those consulting firms that is no longer with them, and
right. And then didn't do the other part. They didn't leave their docs behind. There's
no docs for it. Yeah. So anyway, if it were built, if this Raspberry Pi image were built through a continuous integration pipeline, they wouldn't have to leave docs because I would have the source. So
that's right.
Walk through the steps and see how.
That's right. Exactly. And now you have to go in and you have to reverse engineer. You got to be like an archaeologist. You got to go down and be Indiana Larry going into the bowels of the area. Just watch out for that ball like rolling out.
Yeah.
And remember, they got to weigh exactly the same. Otherwise, you will not be able to
Yeah.
unpack it.
Watch out for the big, and you don't bring a whip to a gunfight. I don't know.
That's right. This one probably needs a whip.
Yeah. So
all right, let's take a look at these other ones. All right, testing
Yes,
and planning, of course. Again, test.
pull requests.
Pull requests. Okay. Oh, look, wait a minute. VS Code and GitHub.
Yes.
A reminder, folks, that Azure, Azure DevOps was a way, GitHub was a way, but actually the two are not only extremely compatible, they're almost the same thing in some ways.
Yes.
And that's a long conversation, though. But yes.
Version control with Azure Repo.
Version controlling.
Yeah.
All right.
Embracing
that's good to know.
Continuous delivery with Azure pipelines. Again,
you notice they have the same colors. I see the pattern over here in that middle row. Yeah, that goes with that. Right.
Exploratory testing with test plans. See, we should have gone left to right instead of top to bottom. It's okay.
I think so. It's almost like they're going. It started. The ones in the left are more like, hey, let's try this out, and then the other ones are the actual do.
Yeah.
So working with pull requests.
So this is with Azure DevOps, and this is with GitHub. So they do have separate.
There we go.
Those.
So they do.
Management with artifacts and web application load and performance testing.
There we go.
I mean, and if you look at these are done the way that I would do them. And I'm people make fun of me because, or they used to make fun of me because I would write, a document on how to do something, and I would have a screenshot for everything because
for every step. That's right.
I want it to be a walkthrough, and that's what this is. This is truly a walkthrough. And
look at this.
I don't know who's doing their images, but I really want to know how to draw that. I need the tool
circle
that lets me draw.
There's a tool called Zoom It. That's what they talked about today. It's called Zoom It. You can do drawings and stuff like that. Yes. Yeah. You know what? Who can do that too? Snagit can do it.
Snagit. Well, see, so the regular Windows Shift S, it just gives me squares. I can do squares. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I want these sexy, fancy.
You want the pills. That's called the pill. That's called the pill circle. So yeah, you want the pills.
I need some pills. So anyway, look, you can look at this and see that this is truly a walkthrough. And what's great about it, you mentioned earlier on giving back, right? Sharing is caring. Look in the top left here, edit on GitHub. This is one of those resources that's community supported.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, look at that. That's right.
There you go.
So you have an issue. Look, check the. Look at this.
Look at this.
So even the course itself that you might be taking from someone else, you can actually go in and contribute to it. Look at that pull request. So what the Microsoft? Wait a minute. Isn't this belong to Microsoft? Isn't that your tools over here?
Yes. Remember, Microsoft bought GitHub. So
look at this. See what it says on top? Microsoft Azure DevOps Labs, right on the top. It's right there below the kitty.
Azure
public. Go higher. See the word, the big pill. There's a pill. Public.
Public.
Just right below that. Public. What does public mean? For the peoples. It is for the peoples.
For the peoples.
Look at this.
Look, this is that whole Azure DevOps site. This is all of it. Look at that.
Holy smokes. Look at that. Yeah. Everything. It's all here.
Pipeline for your Jenkins CI. Look, and what's great is if there's something that's missing, something that you don't see, that you know about, just add it and do a pull request.
And use something different. Look, there's the octopus. Octopussy. Look there. It's the octopus. Yes. James Bond is a James Bond movie. But yes, anyways, I see that. PHP is there. Yeah. And I imagine, yes, that's there.
I have no idea.
Well, it's there, so somebody knows it.
Yes. Well, and
Virtual
you know what?
services, Parasoft Virtualize.
Look in and
And I have a feeling some of those might have been contributed to these, not from Microsoft, but from those particular experts to make it part of it. So you could take something like this and say you have, remember those mentoring stuff that you were doing for your
yes,
folks? Take this and make a version that is more akin to what you need to do, and you just take it from here.
yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And so these are labs. So these are labs that you follow along to do. And then you basically, so here's the trick is if you don't have Azure stuff, you click here, you get your free free sandbox to play, or to
Right.
play around with. And then you follow the steps. And because when you do it free, everything is alive and open for a limited time or whatever it takes. You go through it as quickly as you can, and then you learn. Try it. And then usually my thing is like, every time you do that, just kill it, do it again, kill it, do it again. Get that muscle memory stuff going. And then, of course, when you're ready to actually use it, pay the piper or go to your work where you're actually doing it, and then not muck up over there because you've already played around in the other environment.
So
Look at that.
just for fun, I went ahead to the GitHub main Microsoft page, right? Just following the
Yes.
breadcrumbs here, back to the main
Yep.
Microsoft page. And down here, look at all of these projects that they support. And there's a nice repository type public.
Yep.
I can do that and see just the public ones.
Wow. There's my favorite COE toolkit. That's up there. Fluent UI is in there. Fluid Network. That's the UX stuff, the one that makes it all clean, that Windows 11y type look in some cases.
Apple.
That's for the same thing to work on the Mac. Yep. Mixed reality kits here. Power Effects. 1x runtime. Gosh.
171 pages.
InfoSharp.
171 pages worth of publics. Now, some of these are public archives, right? These are older. Right. I went to the very last one, 171, because that's the way I roll. So last updated 2016. So these are old. Let's sort by it's currently sorted by last updated. Let's sort by number of stars. Sure.
There we go.
VS Code. There's
of course. And it's VS Code is public? What?
Yes, it's public.
It's public.
It's public.
What? Oh my gosh! Look at this.
100,000 commits. The last commit was 25 minutes.
25 minutes ago. Talk about continuous deployment. Talk about continuous deployment. That right there, man. Right there. Holy smokes.
Right here.
These are dizzying numbers, and these are people all over the place, and they're not exactly, not that they know each other. They're not having a scrum meeting every day and trying to determine whether or not they're going to do a push or a pull or whatever for this stuff. This is all happening on a global scale, asynchronously, at internet speeds.
It is controlled, right? I mean, because there are reviewers for the pull request, but it's not managed the way that a standard project would be. There are 1,696 contributors. Look at that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There we go. Whoa.
That's something that, and if you think about it, here, let me see if they have any issues. They have 5,000 or so issues. All right.
Right.
Let's look at the labels, and I want to find if they have. One of the things that sometimes people do is, I don't see it here. Do they all show up? No, they don't all show up, so the label might be here. Let's see. Good first issue.
Good first issue.
Issues identified as good for first-time contributors.
Check it out.
Open issues. Help wanted. Good first issue. Move corner when in a working tree with multiple versions. These are issues that you don't have to be a brain surgeon. You don't have to have been doing this for 20 years to be able to make an impact and be one of the contributors to this open source project.
There we go. By the way, on the aka.ms/sharing-is-caring sessions, they will actually teach you how to be a contributor to Microsoft in general, and how to actually use the Git the way Microsoft at least practices this stuff. And it, by the way, I did discover that they're consistent in the way they like to do it. They'll tell you, if you're doing this, we recommend that you create a branch.
Yes.
Right, and here's the branch you do, and here's how you submit it. When you fill
Drop
out the
it.
form, they usually give you like when you're doing the push, they have templates where they tell you what to check and how to check them and how to put the information is, so that your pull request or whatever it is you're trying to doing will either A, get attention to get done, and B, not get rejected, or and C, most likely not just to get not rejected, but actually push through quickly. See that?
Right.
There's a first time contributor session, and see, there's even one for docs. It's like you want to create your own docs from scratch. You can actually promote and do your own docs over here.
Yes.
Check this out: community docs,
Community
first time contributor, samples contributor. Samples contributor is actually cool because it actually they're using GitHub to hold their samples. So you go through one of those, and even though that says Power Platform, it just shows you with like a low code, just using low code as the shill, how you would actually contribute to a samples type repo area. Oh, look at that! This is just the example of what you. Oh, by the way, and this is on GitHub.
And
check it out. See, GitHub. It is sharing, not caring. This entire thing is itself.
Yes.
On GitHub.
Is on GitHub. So these are GitHub pages.
Yep.
So yep. Running.
Check it out. Highly recommended. So a good place to get practice, to get to learn. And by the way, they do it in a nice judgment-free environment. They don't record these sessions, by the way. You can have a recording of that. You will never find a recording of this. You want to do these, you actually have to attend.
Yes.
All right. Highly recommended, because here's the thing. Getting a recording, there's no feedback to say you actually absorbed it or it worked for you, because in a lot of cases, when the people who attend these things in person and they help them out, they have very specific problems that run into themselves on their machine in their environment at that particular time. Watching a recording of that really is, a bit of a waste.
This isn't like a cooking show where they sit down and they walk you through all the steps, and
right.
This is everyone's in there working together and getting it all done, and it is a hands-on. It is
very
you don't
hands-on.
have to
Yes.
really know a lot coming into it. Truly, they take you through step by step by step, and it's definitely worth your time. Yes, I can't wait until there are new sessions coming up.
Yes, so this is a good one. And by the way, and if anyone clicks on these and you talk to Dave Warner, here you go, tell him Ralph sent you.
Yeah.
I told him not many people you're getting a lot of people. It's like, hey, but they keep forgetting to say Ralph sent you. I know, if you can. I just want to prove a point. It's like I'm letting folks know that they're there. But folks are going to these. A lot of folks, they're getting a lot of people to the point where Microsoft subsidized. These people have jobs around this now to do this and for the community. And by the way, it's free to attend these or anything like that. There's nothing stopping you. You could be for wherever you're from and still come to these. I don't even think they're blocking IPs to come over here, but
they do
let you go in.
They do a lot in different time zones as well. I mean,
that's right.
We've been on some that have been specific for Asia Pac time zones.
Yes. So like on the first time contributor, especially, it's like when I click on that, you might every once in a while you'll see like the APAC version of that particular call to go in. I've had to do that before I came to the new job. Remember our friendly friends that were in the Philippines, for example. I was able to encourage a good match. I think that was one of their biggest sessions when I sent the word and all of a sudden like 50 people showed up from Manila. Thank you so much for that. And then of course they're like, wow, it was worth me staying up until 2 a.m, was it? I said, yeah, you got 50 people now. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do it again. So yeah, I held them to that. So as long as we get a lot of people, they will do it. Here's the thing, yeah, if people are if you show interest, if there's enough folks showing interest from anywhere, they'll come back and yeah, we'll do this again for you folks, because it means you're in there. Oh, I like this one. See that buddy system? If you
Yes.
want to do a demo, by the way, you want to advance your career, do a demo in one of these things. People will see you. Usually right afterwards, your LinkedIn gets hit really hard, if you know what I mean. You
Yes.
know, and then people asking if you want a job. Hey, want a job? And the buddy system is actually really neat. I like this. Here, you want to
And
do a demo, but it's
just in
hard,
case you don't
you
know
know?
what PNP stands for, because it's been a while since we've talked about
Oh, that's right.
patterns
This
and
is
practices.
patterns and practices. Yes.
Yes. So this is
They might change. I'm just going to say they might change that name. I think because everyone keeps getting confused with that.
but I
PNP
love
is almost
that.
like
That's
become
great.
like a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Just saying. But anyway, so like the buddy system that you saw over there.
Yes. Right.
Literally want somebody like myself actually in the community, or a community member, or one of the actual main folks like a Dave or Hugo and stuff will come on, and they will actually oh, there it is,
There you
right?
go.
They will actually an experienced demo presenter will work with you to make your demo, just to get you going, because a lot of folks, this is usually the part where everyone feels imposter syndrome and all this stuff, and we tell them, oh, but somebody already did that demo, I can't do it again because they were better at it, or they might have been better. No, 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 not that. Stop. I don't care if they did it and you're going to do exactly the same version that they did. Just don't plagiarize them. Just do your own thing, speak in your own voice,
Right.
do it again, and somebody will actually probably find yours more useful perhaps than the last one, because you're talking in their tone, or you are du jour to them, saying
Yeah.
it today versus that presentation that was probably 2 years old, that, by the
And
way,
you're
it's 2
coming
years
at it
old.
from your direction. I mean, right? We're all better off if we have more viewpoints, right? If
Yes.
you have only one viewpoint, then you see a two-dimensional image, right?
And so this, by the
You
way,
have
it's
one
just
eye,
Microsoft's
you have
way.
no depth perception, and you see a
Yeah.
two-dimensional image. Come on.
All right. Yep. I just
So,
missed it. I left my my earbuds over here. There they are. Actually, you know what I'm missing? And it's still hot. Great mug, and it's not a Yeti. Just saying.
nice.
Wait, you know what? I will say what it is. It's a thermos. Remember
Thermos.
them?
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember them.
Remember
I had one
them?
of the.
They're still
I
around.
recently had one of the green, glass and steel.
Yes.
Yep, love it.
Just in time. Okay. Wow,
So
we went through all that. Where did we start? We started at the Azure DevOps stuff because we want actually. I want you know why I like that one, because I want to go through that again. I want to get back my chops
yes,
on straight up CI/CD. I want to get back my chops on App Insights because I haven't done that in a while. Everyone keeps saying, and then it's like all of a sudden I'm going to get into a project that said, "Hey, where's your App Insights?" Oh crap, I forgot it. I haven't done it in a while.
Oops,
Damn,
I forgot.
I better get up to speed, right? I want to get back into package management with Azure. Well, actually, the ones I really want to do, I want to get back and see what they're doing new, if anything, with CI/CD. I've already embraced it, continuous delivery. Oh, actually, so there's the two things: CI, enabling continuous integration, and continuous delivery. So those two are musts. I have to review those. Pipelines at YAML, maybe. What else would I probably do? I definitely want to have App Insights. Need to get that in there, and test plan. Yes. So right
See,
off the bat, that's
if we
my
go back to the
key. That's
base,
me.
VS Learn has more than just DevOps, right? DevOps is all
That's
that's
right.
clicked here. If
Well,
we
that's just
look
one
and try
checkbox out of many. Yeah.
Yep. If we try to find learning, well,
You might
let's
pick
search for lab.
IoT if you want. Lab.
Oh, IoT.
Yeah, try IoT.
There we go.
There we go. Check it out.
That looks a little deep.
That is deep.
That
That's
looks
super deep.
deep.
Well, see, that's because you selected lab and IoT. I think.
I know. Let
There
me
you
take
go.
the lab off.
Let's take lab off. Let's see what happens.
Oh yeah. Now we can
Do
get a little
IoT.
introduction
All right.
to Azure IoT.
Yeah,
We go.
please,
That's
folks,
what I see.
start. And sometimes, as they say, but I know a lot of it already. You know what? Go back to the introduction just to get some of the terms, because later on you're like, what are they talking about? That doesn't make sense. Well, because it was mentioned in the early part of the book that you didn't read because you didn't think you needed to read it.
And
At least skim it. Go fast.
Advanced, beginner, intermediate. You can choose your level, but I'm kind of with you, Ralph. I think starting at the early is the better way to be.
Even
If
if
we
you're
look at
advanced,
just
it's
the
always
learning
nice to
path,
have it in.
yeah, if we take the learning paths only, they're combinations of modules.
Yeah.
So here's a learning path: building mixed reality digital twins with Azure Digital Twins and Unity. And it's beginner. It is basically 4 hours.
Wow.
There you go. That seems like that would be fun to look at.
So, by the way, what's a digital twin? We'll try to explain it. A digital twin is the idea is like you send just like you know the rovers that they send to Mars. They actually have a twin here on Earth, so they can diagnose and test everything of whatever happens in Mars. A digital twin is essentially a digital analog of that. So your twin could be like, there's the software out there running in the wild, and here's the exact thing on my end over here running in exactly the same kind of environment. So anything that happens here, I should be able to recreate here note for note.
Well,
and by the way, they're doing things like that for like BMW for their robots that are running and doing stuff. They'll actually have a digital twin. It's virtual. There's no actual machinery moving, but it is the twin of that thing that's for real.
And specifically like with the Mars rover, they have a local digital twin that has all of the settings set to the same as the one that's
Yes.
remote, because you don't want to have a round trip before you see what happens, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to have a round trip in order to just determine the state of a particular item.
Yes.
So all of that state information, the digital twin really is just a digital state machine, or
once they solve the quantum theory, they will be actual twins.
Yeah, it's a digital object that matches the state of the virtual, of the one that it's
exactly.
The twin. So
exactly.
Yeah, great.
Well, I think we're at the time over here before my next meeting. Unfortunately, I hate to say it.
No, have a good weekend, and you know, I'll see. I might reach out to one of our security friends, and
it's time for security things. So yes,
it's time for security things. I've been seeing a lot of very interesting posts in LinkedIn from our friend. I'll see if he's available for next week.
Yeah, well, if you might have him by himself for next week. Next week I am in a conference. There's a 50-50 that my time slot will be on top of this one. So hopefully I'll be able to work it out. But otherwise, as they say, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll see about week after next. I might have
or the week after next. I will be back by then, for sure.
Sounds good.
All righty. Off to our jobs. Larry, stick around. Meantime, Raquel, bump us off. Thanks. And credits.